I loved that black hole segment. And it's interesting because I thought you knew your black hole segment during your odd vid. Because during your odd vid, you use that same song, and I think the choreo was a bit different. And I was like, wait, this fully encapsulates what a black hole should be. But apparently it's not.
So that segment was a black hole segment. We added, I think it's Trendsetter was the song afterwards to kind of add that extra element of EDM. And like because the song Goosebumps itself isn't just gonna be like the black, like, you can't just put a hip hop song and the black hoodie on and expect it to be a black hole necessarily. So the Trendsetter segment afterwards, and shout out to the girls, Mithy, Mahek, Twinkle for that, because we were kind of like really stuck at that point as to how to portray a black hole. How does the audience even gonna know what a black hole is? Quite literally one of the most unknown things in the scientific universe. How are you gonna execute that in 30 seconds on stage? And it was actually interesting because I think we were really struggling from Fallcom to how do we incorporate as many songs as we can into spring, and Goosebumps fit almost perfectly with like how we wanted to keep like a nice hip hop that we still have as clean, that we know like judges like, that we like, add a little bit extra to it with like little formation changes, add some more people, add that trendsetter bit. And yeah, I think we've gotten a lot of compliments at comps that year saying that segment was people's favorite.
It's interesting that you added that. How do I encapsulate the idea of a black hole? In my experience with the teams, people don't recognize there's so much attention to what constitutes the parts of the set. How does the song choice fit in? It's not just putting a black hoodie and expecting the judges to really understand that, but it's more about how does, like the EDM, now that you said it, I was like, oh, that makes sense. That's like what a black hole should be like. And that's insane that there's that much thought put into just that one little segment. Could you talk more about how you thought about that choreo for the black hole segment, how you made that formations, and how you made sure the music fit in the whole vibe?
I want to be honest, that vision was almost fully on the girls.
I'm gonna have to talk to them.
I would probably have all the girls here, and then like my co-captains. Obviously, I'd say we've been like a pretty collaborative team when it comes to ideas. I've been the captain for 2 years, but I'm not the originator of all the ideas. Their vision for that segment was really good because, like I mentioned, we were kind of really stuck at one point as to like how to make this piece more complex or hype. And even I think the issue that some teams have is this idea like, oh, we have a really good set, a really good segment. How can we make it even better, even better, even better? How can it be better than this team's? You don't necessarily have to change the whole song to do that. You don't have to change the whole choreo. Distinctly remember Simki being like, we kind of did exhaust a lot of the ideas that we had. That piece did go through a lot of iterations over the fall and the beginning of the summer. It was, let's keep a segment we know kind of hits and add little tweaks and changes. I think it was Simki and Twinkle who said, okay, let's try to add this EDM vibe, right? A lot of teams that year and maybe previous years too haven't done the EDM vibe where it's really simple choreo but layered really well. All the girls were able to hop onto that and come up with a vision by themselves. Honestly, me and Adi were kind of just, this looks sick. Maybe add this tweak. Maybe this doesn't look as whatever, but they definitely deserve 95% of the credits. It's unbelievable.
I was wondering for you, the captain, how have you grown? How do you think that has contributed to like Talash's growth or even your growth personally?
One major aspect of my growth, and I have to shout out Adi for this too, is Adi was captain. Adi's the year above me, so he was captain during that COVID year, 2.0 year, and Cosmos year. And 2.0 year, there wasn't really much going on in terms of theme production. Here's some choreo, here's some formations, here's a song, string like 6 minutes of it together. So I think a lot of people did really believe in me during my 3.0 year that like I had a vision, I cared about this team. I had improved a lot as a dancer, very specifically after freshman year. Not even like freshman year, I was kind of just like really stagnant with my growth. I grew a lot as a dancer after freshman year and like a little bit into sophomore year too. And so I had a lot of people who had like faith in me. But I think at the time I was still just kind of a very, not necessarily shy person, but someone who doesn't imprint my opinion on things. I don't know what the right way to put it is, but I wasn't as enforcing of a captain. I was very laid back, and it was like really stressful to figure out. Adi was very type A, and I followed in his footsteps when it came to having these strong opinions, right? And I've not been someone that's necessarily strongly opinionated. I've been like before, like in high school and stuff, just like someone that's like in the middle, like all the time on everything. And that's good to be like docile and agreeable, But when you are captain, you just kind of have to make decisions, right? Be on the front foot for things, say things how they are for the most part. And I learned a lot of that from him, being assertive, but obviously in a friendly manner. And I'd say that first semester, I was super, what's the word for it? I can't even think of the word for it. But definitely second semester, I gained a lot more confidence in terms of second semester I gained a lot more confidence in terms of how I wanted to help run the team, or like what decisions I wanted to make, or like what I wanted to say no or yes. I wanted to stop being wishy-washy as I've used to been. And another thing that I've definitely grown to be was before Talaash, I'd say, like my entire life, I've been a huge procrastinator. Like absolutely, like an assignment's due, I will do it in the last minute, maybe not even do it at all. Once I got this responsibility for captain, and obviously it's something that I cared about a lot, I kind of went in the complete opposite direction. Where it's plan for everything. I remember actually Adi would bang out a schedule from October till February of what needs to be done on an hour by hour basis. And obviously we didn't follow that to a T, but it helps him like think and organize, oh, what things need to be done when we get to this checkpoint, we get to this checkpoint. And that kind of layered off on me, think very far in advance. Maybe not too far in advance, but don't think too much in the present necessarily, but have an idea for the big picture, like what to look out for. And it made me very attentive to those things. And then I think my junior year tired me out a lot. So senior year, I didn't have the same energy when it came to necessarily executing how I wanted to. But I learned a lot from my junior year as to how to deal with certain situations, how to deal with time constraints, how to plan for the future. And so even though I had less energy senior year, it was easier for me to still navigate senior year. And also another big thing for senior year was that I had two co-captains instead of one. So as straining as like being captain of any dance team is, if you have two people by your side, so a total of three people, one person has a bad day, one person just having a bad weekend or whatever, two people can still like take the mantle and push the team forward.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to if it's just one team, as opposed to if it's just two captains, if one captain goes down, it's kind of like, oh shit, now I have to lead like 35 people. So I think a lot of my I would say a lot of my leadership qualities came from Adi. Senior years, Nikhil and Anubhav were all seniors. We all had different like majors and different schedules and stuff, but we did a really good job of being able to maintain and balance each other's personalities when it came to like all three of us didn't feel the need to wake up and have a good day and put on this fake happy smile. There'd be days where I'm like, guys, like I can't do this today. Like I'm having a horrible time this weekend, and they'd be like, no, Punk, we got it. And I would say nothing at practice, and them two would perfectly have it handled. But like other times where they would be having the same situation, and it kind of like rotates like in and out. And I think one thing I learned about leadership was you do not have to put this all on yourself. I think what we did well was delegate. Obviously, there can be too much delegation sometimes where there's no clear vision and ideas are all over the place and everything's a mess because one person thinks this, another person thinks something else, and you're trying to find a way to. But I think the big thing is that if you trust your team members, if you trust your board members, you trust your co-captains, figure it out, it eases a lot of stress on you, and it eases a lot of the onus on you to figure it out immediately, right? I think that's the big thing I learned senior year especially. Don't put it all on yourself. Find people you trust and that share similar ideals when it comes to running the team or the ideas you have, like dance wise, and let them take the mantle if needed.
What I think I've heard from the captaincy perspective is just there's a lot more that you can offer than just being you. Like if you can offer being able to give other people a voice, give other people like leadership and show up and learn from other people as much as possible, that helps you be the best captain